Hi everybody and welcome back to Honeysuckle Homestead Retreat. If you're new to my channel, my name is Desiree, and just a quick rundown of what my channel is about. Basically, I live and work in Atlanta, but I have a tiny house in the Appalachian Mountains where I'm slowly starting an off-grid farm. It is springtime on the homestead, so I just thought you guys might want to see all the flowers that are blooming and all the greenery and just everything that's going on here at the homestead right now. I absolutely love springtime. Wintertime is my least favorite time of the year. Even though I have moments where I enjoy the fire and, snuggling up and just the comfort of like hot cocoa or something like that. There are bees buzzing around me. But what I love about spring is just the renewal, just everything turning green, blooming, just the idea of being refreshed, renewed, and reborn in a sense, I guess you could say. So everything that was dead in the winter comes back to life, and I really love that. So we have beautiful flowers blooming. Here's a dogwood right here. It's just that time of year where everything is just beautiful and blooming. I love flowers. And I love hearing the bees buzzing around too. It is spring, so not everything is completely green yet, but it's getting there. We definitely have more and more flowers blooming, so that's nice. Another thing that I really liked about it finally being spring again is, as some of you know that have been watching my channel, I winterized my tiny house right before winter. And so I blew all the water out of my lines and I disconnected my water barrels that I have. And I didn't have any running water during the winter. So that's not fun. When you're used to having running water, it's not fun when you don't have running water. I was taking like camp showers and stuff in my shower. But like with a bucket. So anyway, I'm so excited now because now, yay, I finally have running water again, and it's just really nice to have that. So that's definitely a plus to spring and summertime in general. I've also cleaned up the house a little bit. I took out my wood rack that I had for my wood burning stove, and I put it away in storage. I put all that I had for the wood stuff, the wood burning stuff, in storage. So that gives me a little more space in my tiny house as well. And as you can see, I have replaced that area right in front of the window there with a brand new table that I absolutely love. I really like sitting at that table looking out over the creek while I have like coffee or hot tea, or while I'm eating dinner or lunch or breakfast or whatever, or just to sit and look out. It's really nice. Everything's so green. Loving it, just loving it. Some of the downfalls that come with spring and summertime though are bugs. Lots and lots of bugs. So I definitely have some visitors inside of my tiny house that I would rather not have. But I'm dealing with it. It's not the end of the world. It's just a few bugs here and there. I found an actual roach in my sink this morning, so that wasn't fun. And a spider in my closet, and some little beetle things that keep accumulating by my windows. So I don't know what those are, but yeah, I found those. Really, it's just nice to look around and just see the springtime. I also now I have to be more aware of snakes when I'm out in my pasture, so I have to be a little bit more cognizant of the possibility of stepping on one. So far, I've only seen a bunch of holes. Oh, that's something else that I have to keep in mind. Spring and summer brings on the yellowjackets as well, and they love to have their nest in holes in the ground. And if you come across one of those, you can get stung really bad. So I have to be aware of what holes in my pasture might be for a yellowjacket nest, or if it's something else. Lots of holes are dug by all sorts of things, like rodents and snakes don't really dig holes, but they'll take advantage of a hole that's been dug. So that's something I have to keep in mind as well. I guess some snake species do dig holes, but I don't think the ones around here do. Last summer I did see a water snake in the creek. I literally almost stepped on it, to be honest, because there was high grass around my creek and I stepped and then I heard something move, and honestly I thought it was a frog, the way it like jumped into the water. And so I stood still to wait to see what it was, and it was this brown water snake. And I was a little concerned it might be a water moccasin, but I looked it up and it turns out that water moccasins aren't really common around where I'm at, but the brown water snake, which looks almost exactly like a water moccasin, is. So I determined that's probably what it was. I wasn't able to see its belly. If I had been able to see its belly and if it were yellow, then I would have known it was a brown water snake, but I wasn't going to try to catch the thing to find out. Okay, speaking of Yellowjacket Nest, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I came across this hole last summer actually, and it was a much smaller hole to begin with, and it was a Yellowjacket's nest. I came out the next day and the hole was bigger, and part of the Yellowjacket nest was sitting outside of the hole. And I asked my neighbor about it and he goes, "Oh, a skunk got it." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, skunks eat Yellowjacket nest." I had no idea. Like, I know a lot about a lot of animals. I don't know everything, that's for sure. But I had no idea that skunks ate Yellowjacket nest. So skunks are good for something. Don't kill them on your farm, on your homestead, because even though they might make your dogs a little stinky if the dogs bark at them and they attack, they actually are good for the homestead. They are part of the ecosystem. So I was very grateful to that skunk, and I was like, I hope he comes back because I have a few more nests on the homestead I'd like for him to get. But yeah, so I'm hoping he sticks around this year as well. So these little wildflowers right here are violets, and they're actually edible. Other wildflowers that are edible are dandelions. They're actually really good for you. They have a lot of antioxidants in them. People will make dandelion tea and whatever, but these are edible as well. You'll find them sometimes in fancy restaurants and salads. But yeah, little edible flower there. Not bad. Doesn't have like a ton of flavor. It's got a little bit of spiciness to it, I'd say. Just a hint, not like spicy hot, but a little peppery, more of a little bit of a peppery taste to it. I can see how they'd be good in salads though. Adds a little bit of a kick to it, I suppose. The other thing I really like about springtime, and it probably won't be like this in the summer, but at least in the spring where the temperatures don't get too hot for too long, I really like that I don't have to run my AC. So yesterday I ran my AC for maybe a couple of hours, but I didn't have to use a whole lot of electricity to do that. So for the most part, the temperature inside of my tiny house stays pretty cool. So at night it gets down to about 55 degrees outside, and I just leave a window open. And even with the window open, it doesn't get too cold in here. So last night it got down to about, I'd say, maybe 69, 68 degrees. And I ended up shutting the window though, to be honest, around 3 o'clock in the morning. It was getting a little chilly for me up in the loft. So I went ahead and shut the window. But the great thing is the temperature that was inside the tiny house maintained at least until noon. So about noon or a little after noon, the temperature started to rise a bit. And right now it's, gosh, I don't know what time it is. I think it's like 1:30 or something. But right now the temperature is 73 degrees inside and 88 degrees outside. So, and I have not turned on my AC at all yet today. I'm really, really happy with that. And I'm so glad that the tiny house has been able to maintain its cooler temperatures. Now in the summertime when it's hotter longer, it's probably gonna start warming up in here a lot faster. But overall, it's really nice not to have to use as much energy, especially since I still don't have my solar panels connected to the house yet. Okay, everyone, well, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to show you guys springtime and some of the things I like about springtime. It's also a lot easier to work outside when it's warmer out than when it's cold. Working outside with tools in the cold is not a pleasant thing. So that is another thing that I really, really appreciate about the spring and summertime. Now, granted, you're gonna get hot faster and you're gonna sweat a lot more, but that's not such a bad thing. So yeah, that's another thing that I appreciate about the springtime, which means I will be getting back to work with all of my building projects that I have outside, like my deck that I'm wanting to finish right in front of the door there. I wanted to make an L-shape deck, so that is definitely on my agenda for hopefully soon. Hopefully within a month or two at least. Anyway, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Please remember to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and subscribe, especially if you've already seen a few of my videos. And if you haven't seen a few of my videos, go ahead and check out my channel. You might see something on there that perks your interest, and then you'll want to subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Bye, buddy.